Well, welcome back to Country Boy Can Cook. Today we're going to do some apple bread. I'll list the recipe, but it's pretty easy. It's 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar. I use brown sugar. 3 eggs. My eggs are kind of small, so I used 4. The apples, I am using Lucky Leaf pie filling. This is actually a recipe for banana bread. I made some yesterday. It turned out great, so I decided to modify it and put apples in it. So we're going to see how it turns out. I'm going to take and mash these apples with a potato masher. Mash them up small. Let me put the camera down and I'll be right back with you. Alright, let's get these mashed up into smaller pieces. I don't want them too small. I want it to taste like apple and have little chunks of apple in it. Like I said, I'm modifying a banana nut, or actually a banana bread recipe. So we're going to see how this turns out. I think this is good enough. So I'm going to put a little cinnamon, just a touch. I'm going to go ahead and put my eggs in that I've whipped. There's 4 of them. My butter. I always add my liquids together. My Lucky Leaf apple is already in there. My next thing will be brown sugar. I mean, this is an easy recipe. There's 1 cup of brown sugar. And I just mixed it up. No need for a blender. The sugar's coarse, so it has a tendency to break other things down. You can tell when it's blended in pretty good. This is 2 cups of self-rising flour. It must be pretty good. I can hear my dogs in the background barking. They're like, hey Dad, how about sharing this with us? The 1/2 cup of butter that I put in, it called for a 1/2 cup of oil, but you can substitute butter for oil anytime. I just think it gives it a richer flavor, better flavor. Easy for me to say. And as you can see, it's basically mixed up. Now I use Baker's Joy. Get a shot here. It's a spray for baking. It has a flour blended into it. It has never let me down, and I've been using it for years. Believe it or not, I used to bake cakes and sell them. This old cowboy. But I had an injury about 2 years ago, broke my right arm so bad in my elbow that I don't have good use of it anymore. And I'm 67 years old. So I got a feeling I'm not going to get a lot of use out of it through the years. So this is blended up. And I'm sorry this is on my blind side, so I can't really show you what I'm doing. But I'm going to put the batter in my loaf pan. Readjust this for a minute. Take it. Knock that down to knock out the air bubbles. I'm going to get a little creative and sprinkle a little cinnamon on top. What the heck? Now in the oven it goes for 55 minutes. I will set my timer for 45. And there she is, up and running. If it needs a little bit more cooking, I'll let it cook a little bit more. Someone the other day asked me about this old cutting board. It's hard to see, but you can kind of make out a brand. It was 5W, the cattle ranch I was raised on. And I had the real brand. After my parents had passed away, we sold the ranch and I kept the branding iron. And I kept this wood that was out of their house. It was some oak and pecan that we'd used on a different project, and I made cutting boards for myself and for all 3 children. And I branded them with the branding iron. This is just about worn out. I use this cutting board every day. Anyway, I'll get back with y'all in about 45 minutes. And we'll see how this cake is doing. Well, it's been about 60 minutes of total time. I came in and checked it one time at about 40 minutes. And it was not even close to being done. So I reset the timer. And added about 20 minutes to it and checked it a couple of times. It just went off at 60 minutes. And I do believe it's ready. I'm going to check it. Get this timer off. Here's how I do it. I just take a sharp knife, kind of get down into the center, pull it out and see if there's any crumbs. Not really. So it's done. Let me see if I can get this bad boy out of here. You take your knife, run around the edges. Like I say, I've always used this Baker's Joy. Never had a problem with anything sticking, so don't think it's going to start now. Also, you can see there's a little bit of brown sugar on top. When I checked it at 40 minutes, I decided I would grab a spoonful and sprinkle over the top. Just a little crisp and sweetness to it. Also, that Lucky Leaf that I used is 21 ounces of premium apple pie filling. All right, let's see if we can get this out. It's going to be red hot. Oh yeah, came right out. Looks really good. It smells really good also. Let's see if I can get a sharp knife and cut a piece of that. You should really wait a little bit, but what the heck? I'm impatient. I use a serrated knife. I suspect this is going to still have some apple chunks in it. Oh yeah, you can see the apple. It smells really, really good. Can't wait for it to cool down a little bit. Brew up a hot cup of coffee and enjoy this. And I've got one of my little buddies down here. This is Big Man. He likes to follow me into the kitchen. He's like, Dad, can I have a bite? Well, I hope this video helps. I'll try to get the recipe up. It's really easy to make banana bread or apple bread. The next time I do it, I'll probably do pumpkin. If you like the video, please leave me a comment. Yes or no. Good or bad, doesn't matter. I can always learn even at 67 years old. Hit the subscribe button. That way you can see my next video of the old dude putting out cooking. Thank you very much for being around.